I was just watching something where a bunch of people were introducing themselves, like saying their names, and I'm still not sure which one I found more strange. Which one do you find more strange? A black guy named Garth or a white guy named Omar? Let's talk about the brand new album from Cardi B, Am I the Drama? Now, this is finally the sophomore album from rapper Cardi B. This comes 7 years after her debut album. And I want to say that I understand that a lot of people have been giving her shit over the years for the gap in between these two records. It makes a lot of sense that a lot of people in her position usually tend to strike while the iron is hot. But I do tend to give Cardi B a little bit of grace in that regard because she has been having a very public, up and down, tumultuous relationship with rapper Offset, and she's had multiple kids. She is literally pregnant right now as she's releasing this new album. So I do understand that she has not been just sitting around, hanging out. She has been, you know, busy in a lot of different ways. And she also has released music in between these two records. A couple songs that she's released are on this album, which I will get to that. But as far as this new record, I will say when you do have that sort of gap in between two albums, you have to make sure when you finally release that new record, you have to make it feel like it was worth the wait. And unfortunately, in my personal opinion, I don't think this record accomplishes that. Now, with this album, you get a lot of typical trap production. You get some funny bars from time to time from Cardi B. I've personally never thought much of Cardi B as a rapper or a lyricist. I know that she has her ghostwriters. I feel like people don't really talk that much about that when it comes to Cardi B. Um, I don't really know how, I guess, authentic I would think some of this lyricism is coming from Cardi B as far as her putting pen to paper and thinking about all this stuff on her own, but that is something that applies to a lot of rappers out there today. Now, listening to this record, a lot of this, too much of this, in my opinion, is just there. Nothing really feels that essential, in my personal opinion. And like the two tracks at the end of this album, which are Up and WAP, those two songs are like 4 years old, 5 years old, and she still decided to put them on this album. Now, I think that was a mistake for a few reasons. One of them being the song Up. When that song came out, I didn't really think much of that song. I didn't think it was great, but in comparison to the majority of this album, that song actually sounds really, really good. So I don't know what that says as it pertains to this record as a whole. Now, the song on here, Man of Your Word, I will say I felt that song. That song is about heartbreak. It's about what she's been going through in her relationship with Offset. I felt like that was a really real moment on the album. And the track Bodega Batty is a fun song. I really like that song. But the problem is that song was a really, really much needed pep, a really much needed punch in the middle of an album that to me just feels very middle of the road. Now, as far as Cardi B as an artist or Cardi B as a person, no matter how many other female MCs come after her and the other female MCs that she has beef with, no matter how many men she ends up in a relationship with that end up cheating on her, or how big her areolas get, she will always have a place in pop culture because she has this certain appeal, this personality that is relatable in a lot of ways. And me personally, I like Cardi B. I think she's funny. I think she is entertaining. But when you put out a record like this after such anticipation and buildup since her debut, um, I'll just say, for her sake, for her career as far as being relevant in the music scene, she can't take another 7 years and put out something like this because this is just not enough. And I don't see many songs on here besides the song I mentioned before, Bodega Baddie, having really any lasting effect on the hip hop scene because this is just meh, unfortunately. 4 sticks of butter, peace, love, butter.